Welcome to the Core Cultivation Podcast, where we break down the moves that matter most for your mental and physical well-being. I'm Marcia, your wellness architect with a mic, a mat, and a mission, and this is where coaching meets real life, so you can commit, own, rest and reflect, and engage your way to better health. Before we get started, please remember the information shared here is for educational purposes only and is not for formal medical or mental health advice. Always follow the guidance of your licensed healthcare provider. If you're in crisis, please dial 988 or go to your nearest emergency room. By listening, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own mental and physical well-being, and you release PsyCore Fitness, me, and any affiliates from any and all liability. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Marcia. Glad to have you. Welcome back to the Core Cultivation Podcast. And so it's that time of year, y'all. I'm just going to go on and get into it. It's the holidays. It is game time. It's happening, ready or not. The holiday season is upon us. The time warp of the rest of the year has propelled us into the holiday season. And so I don't know about you. I can't speak for you, but I know that I'm going into this season with a plan. And every year I feel like I become more focused and more capable of managing this game of the holiday season. So my question to you is, how's your holiday defense looking this season? Now, I'm actually not a big sports fan. I don't follow sports. I don't have time to follow games or anything at this point in my life, but I know whatever type of sport or game that you are interested in or playing in, there's some planning. There's some strategery involved. There's some strategic planning going on if you are trying to be in the game and win the game. So it brings me back to the question, if we recognize and think about this holiday season and all holiday seasons as a game, my challenge to you is, what's your holiday defense looking like this season? And so we're going to talk about how you are approaching the game. What kind of player are you? Because I feel like some of y'all out here don't even know that there is a game, let alone whether or not you're actually playing in the game. So let's start there, asking yourself, are you aware that there is a game? Are you aware of the game time, of the critical, like it's playoff season? It's intense. It's not that point in the season where it's like, oh, we can afford to lose. No, sanity is at stake here. People are stressed. The holidays and the onslaught of all of the emotions and the to-dos can feel super overwhelming. Are you even aware? On a serious note, are you even aware of all that is going on? Are you aware of the game, and are you even playing? And so when I say this, I'm challenging you to think about, how involved are you with the planning, the preparation, the strategery, whatever we want to call it, when it comes to the game? Are you just kind of sitting on the sidelines? Maybe you're in the stands, just watching everybody else play, watching everybody else involved, doing what they have to do. Maybe you're on the sidelines just waiting for things to happen to you, waiting for agendas to unfold and for people to let you know what's going on, when, or whatever, as opposed to initiating or taking ownership or getting directly involved in things. I don't know. You could be some of those players that are just kind of, you're there, but you're reacting to what other people are doing. So you can't make a move until you hear from somebody else, or you're going to wait until X is determined before you can make a decision on Y and Z. I don't know. But I want you to start thinking about, how are you operating in the game? Are you playing the game? What's your role in the game? How are you approaching the game? And this is, again, if you acknowledge that there is a game to begin with. I want you to think about your triggers. Be aware what all is going on. What are some of the potential triggers, stressors for you for this particular time of year? so you can start anticipating and getting ahead of some of these different things, whether it's certain traditions, if there are certain interactions, scenes, settings, whatever it is, start trying to identify some of those emotional hot spots before they catch you off guard. And again, by being disengaged, you're going to end up reacting to the situation as opposed to being proactive, having thought about it, having anticipated it, and then being able to engage and respond appropriately as opposed to reacting to the situation. You cannot protect your peace if you don't even know that it's under attack and that they're coming for it. You've heard me. If you have been listening to my podcast, listen to any of my episodes, you have probably heard some of this tone and attitude like it is a fight. You've got to be intentional about trying to protect your peace and recognize that this is a game and you got to get in the game and play. So, whose team are you really on? Now, you may think that you are focused and prioritizing your needs, but just taking it back for a moment. Think about all of the requests. Think about all of the demands. Think about all the traditions, all the to-dos that come up around the holidays. Many of those things involve family traditions and different things that we're used to doing that involve other people. And hear me when I say this. I'm not telling you you need to stop talking to your family, that you need to separate and detach from your loved ones and stop communicating. That is not at all what I'm saying. But think about, whose team are you on? Are you playing for yourself or are you more focused on pleasing other people? Just take a second and think about it. So when the requests come, when the asks start, when the to-dos start piling up, how much are you being motivated by pleasing other people versus taking care of yourself? Now, again, this brings you to a very kind of vulnerable and delicate balance because you cannot expect to be in relationship with anybody and not have some give and take. Whether that is a significant romantic relationship, whether it is a family member, there has to be some give and take, and there has to be some things at times that you probably end up doing that you don't like, don't want to do, and you have to make some sacrifices. I get that. But think about it, if you're constantly doing for everybody else, if you're constantly taking care of everybody else, if you are in this game and you're constantly defending and making sure everybody else is got their thing going and taken care of, who's defending you? Who's taking care of your agenda, your goals, your strategery? Who's monitoring your defense, your offense, all of that if you are so busy taking care of everybody else? So this does touch on people pleasing. It gets into emotional labor and concerned about other people's needs. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. There is a pro and a con to everything. But how much more weight are you putting into caring for other people's needs, concerns, wants, desires, or whatever versus your own? Are you pouring out so much that there is no energy left for your own? What is the cost to you? Is there a compromise that allows you to support other people without sacrificing yourself, without sacrificing your sanity, without sacrificing your peace of mind? And doing so such that you can still actually enjoy the holidays yourself. Think about it. Be honest with yourself, if nobody else. Once you have that perspective, then you need to start thinking about, okay, I am in this thing. This thing is happening. I do need to be thoughtful about how I'm going to approach XYZ, how I'm going to navigate this particular tradition, this situation because it's so highly stressful, blah, blah, blah. This is the challenging part. Sometimes we avoid things and a desire that they might go away, and that's not going to happen. That's not strategy. That is ignoring something, that is sticking your head in the sand, and ignoring things does not go away. So, what are your goals for the season? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? I sent this info out to those in my email group, just asking, what are your actual goals? Do you even go into the holiday season with a goal? Or is it just about surviving? Most times when I'm talking with people, there is an attitude of just trying to survive. It's like, oh my God, it's here, it's happening. And while in some ways we might be excited, there might be some good feelings, but so many people that I speak to is, oh gosh, it's here. I got to do this, I got to do that. Oh, I don't even know how I'm going to find time for it all. So it's more of a, how can I get through it? How can I survive it with the least amount of damage? Are we doing any actual thoughtful planning, mindful planning around how we're going to get through it? And we might appreciate and really have some bright moments throughout the season that we enjoy and reflect on and can appreciate at a later point. But are we going into the situation? Are we going into the different occasions and traditions and settings and interactions with a particular goal? And that's where I think many of us are lacking. We don't have a goal. And so, therefore, if we don't have a goal, we don't have a plan or a strategy. So, I ask you again, what are your goals for this holiday season? Do you even have a plan? And it could be something simple, but not simple, like peace, present, trying to actually show up in all of these different places, settings, social situations, to dos, whatever's, and actually be fully present in that moment to appreciate all that's going on. There are a lot of beautiful things that happen during the holidays that only happen during the holidays, whether it is some type of art experience or creative experience, whether it's a social gathering or whatever. There are some special, beautiful, unique situations that only present themselves during the holidays. But if you are so busy doing this, that, and the other, overwhelmed by the to-do list that is never ending, can you even really show up in any of these beautiful settings and scenes and really appreciate what's going on? Or are you there still thinking about, well, I got to go back and do this. I got to make sure I call so and so. I got to go and get this done before that deadline and blah, blah, blah. So, what are your goals? Maybe it's about spending time with people and having true substantive connection. Maybe it's about remaining financially stable. Let's be real. This time of year also brings about a great deal of financial stress, and we all are living in some financially stressful times. So maybe your goal is not trying to add to that and maintain some financial stability. Maybe it's actual rest when some of these days downtime, when you get some downtime or days off, you actually want to rest. So think about it. What are your goals for the season? Do you have a strategy? Do you have an agenda? Some people like to just go with the flow, don't have a particular agenda, and they're just kind of, hey, I'm just playing for fun. I don't care if I win or lose. And that's cool. If that works for you, go for it. You like it. I love it. It's all good. But for many people, that's not the case. And there is stress, there is strain, there is also resentment, frustration, and then we have the seeding of a lot of negative and difficult feelings. So, what is your goal? Do you even have a long game, or are you just trying to survive the quarter, the game, or whatever? The plan, the strategy, the agenda, it doesn't have to be anything super lofty or super rigid. You just have to be intentional and mindful about going for it and planning it out and working towards it. So, that said, if you're going to be proactive, you've got to start thinking ahead and trying to anticipate some of the potential stressors. So think back over the years, over your holiday seasons, what have been the biggest stressors? Is it family obligations and expectations? Is it the financial piece? Is it the gift giving? Is it trying to juggle everything with a travel schedule? Logistically, how is that working? What have been the bigger stressors for you over the years? And what does that look like as you move into this particular holiday season? Maybe it's social media. Maybe you need to look at setting some boundaries around that. Whatever it is, you need to try to identify your stressors, figure out who's coming for you. So again, if you are in the game, you need to be able to identify this person is going to be trying to attack my left side. This one's coming for me on the right. You can't prepare for what you refuse to acknowledge. You've got to open your eyes, lift your head out of the sand, and start trying to get a game plan for those things that are going to be presenting themselves to you. You already know it's coming. So go on and start setting your boundaries up, start working on your defense, start working on your wording, how you're going to say no to this so you can say yes to something else. Start planning for it, start practicing, start working on it. Self care is something that is just so underrated and seems to be so undervalued, but it's so very important. You want to be intentional about trying to insert some self care moments. And when I'm speaking of self care in this instance, I'm meaning time out. I'm meaning time to, as I say with core work, rest and reflect. Every game that I see, there is some form of a timeout, some way that people are able, that athletes are able to take a second, regroup, maybe talk with the coach, maybe read their notes, but it's an opportunity for them to check in with themselves, with their goals, their agenda, get mentally reset. And this allows them to maintain that mental resiliency to get back in the game. Pause, separate, detach from the chaos. I don't care who it is, everybody at some point has to take a timeout, has to take some time for themselves so they can regroup, refocus, reset, do a mindset shift, and then they can get back into the game more focused and more effective because they've taken that time for themselves. So, are you able to take time for yourself? Have you planned to have time for yourself throughout the holiday season? Or are you so busy going back to what I was saying earlier, taking care of everybody else's needs and on everybody else's agenda that you've not had a moment to yourself, so you don't even know whether or not you're coming or going? When it comes to core work, you need intentional time to recalibrate your energy, to get refocused, to make sure that you're on track with your goals so that you can keep moving forward. And resting and reflecting does not mean that you are scheduling a week long vacation away from everybody, although that would be super great. And remember me if you decide to do so. But it could be something as simple as taking 10 minutes before you start your workday to listen to some calming music or do your spiritual practices and traditions. Maybe it is taking 10 minutes out of the middle of your workday to get moving. Whatever it is, shift your thinking from something that it has to be something long, extravagant, or drawn out. You need to think about trying to sprinkle and drop moments of self care into your daily routines and world. So, whether it's taking some deep breaths, maybe you take a short drive somewhere, although, if you're in the metro Atlanta area, that depends on you and your love of mutated traffic. Again, find the moment that works for you to help bring you down so that you can recalibrate and get back into the game. So, getting your holiday defensive strategy together, just keep it simple. Do some prep, as I've said. Think about your boundaries. Know your boundaries. Know your triggers. Know your limit. Know your non negotiables. I can do this, but I cannot do that. Get clear on it. Have you defined clearly what those lines in the sand are? If not, you need to start thinking about it. So that's number one. Number two, you need to start thinking about how you're going to communicate those boundaries to other people. Because just because you have set and drawn those lines in the sand does not mean that other people know about those new lines in the sand or that they're okay with them, especially if those are new lines. They're different than what you used to do, they're in a different place than where they used to be. So you've got to start thinking about how you're going to communicate the differences as far as expectations and desires that other people have of you early. Don't wait until things get super tense and emotions are high. Be proactive about what your limits are. And then go on and say no. It is a complete sentence, a complete word. Say no when you need to. And remember that in saying no to one thing, you're saying yes to yourself in another way. You might feel uncomfortable having said no. So go on and prepare yourself to feel uncomfortable. In other words, get comfortable with the uncomfortable. That feeling will come of feeling guilty, maybe feeling like you aren't a good friend, mother, worker, whatever it is. That feeling will come, but the feeling will also pass. So go on and prepare yourself for that difficult feeling. Acknowledge it when it comes and let it pass. Just because you are uncomfortable with the feeling doesn't mean that you need to change what you did or that you did or said something wrong. Let silence be your shield. After all of that, this goes back to an opportunity to take care of yourself. When you're practicing these new behaviors and it feels uncomfortable, take a moment to take care of yourself. This is new for you. So if you're in the game, maybe you did end up blocking and running that shoulder into someone in order to protect your boundaries. It still hurt a bit on your end. You were still impacted. So you might need to take a second, sit out the next play, do a little self care, make sure that shoulder is still working so you can again re engage with the rest of the game. Take that time to decompress and get recalibrated so you get back. And then, always a smart move is to get feedback on how you did. And I don't mean feedback from other people, although you could do that, but after the season is over, think about how did that work for you? How did that defensive strategy work for you? This goes to the idea of watching the game, watching the play. See where you missed something. See where you might have overlooked something. What worked? What didn't work? What could you do differently the next time around? And then build upon that. You have to also look at this as skill building, especially if you are coming in from the perspective, I never really thought of it as a game. I just kind of was out here rolling with the flow. Okay, that's fine. But now that you're in the game, start looking at this as a skill building opportunity. How can I get better? How can I improve my communication? How can I define my boundaries better and still be engaged and collaborative and compromising so that I can still show up for other people and be supportive so that they know that I care, but still not lose my sanity? These are the things that you want to reflect on as you come out of the season and you recover and prep for the next one. Because even when you're off season, you're still prepping. You're still prepping in some way, shape, or form for the next one. So, those are just some tips that I wanted to share. I'm always compelled this time of year to help people get grounded and set before the chaos ensues. And so I speak from a place of compassion. I also speak from personal experience. I understand what it's like when it seems that there's a lot coming for you and you have to start setting some boundaries and communicating your expectations. This is something that I can relate to. So, that said, when it comes to my core work and how I'm choosing to commit to my self-care, own, rest and reflect, and be engaged intentionally, this season, I'm chasing calm. My goal for the season is calm. Calm is at the top of the list. I also hope to get some great connection time in with some friends and family. And so, to that end, if you are trying to chase some calm with me, I invite you to tap into the Hinge for the Holiday Haven, streaming on YouTube and Twitch. And this is just an opportunity for you to listen to some chill vibes, watch some calming scenes. There's some gentle stretching opportunities as well as guided breathing and meditation. It's not anything big, it's just a place to zone out. And I got to say, while on one hand, I'm streaming it, I'm on the other side of the screen doing it. I'm doing the breathing, I'm doing the stretching because I know these are things that are going to help bring my stress level down so I can keep doing all the things that I want to do during the holiday. Wellness does not take a holiday. And as I said, wellness is work. So you need to be intentional about making sure you have a plan to protect your peace. The holidays are stressful, and this year has been stressful in general. So you've got to be intentional about your defense. So what's your holiday defense look like? Check yourself. What's your plan? What are your goals? Reflect on your defensive gaps. Feel free to tap into the Hinge for the Holiday Haven that's streaming on YouTube and Twitch most Sundays. And go on and turn on the notifications because I'll be doing pop-ups throughout the season, probably when I need to calm down and de-stress myself. You can also check my calendar at PsyCoreFit.com and tap into a Wellness Wednesday. So this is a mid-month reset where you can tap into micro breaks throughout the course of a day to help you reset, to help you detach, and to bring down your stress level. So these are a couple of opportunities for you to engage and to take care of yourself. So what's your holiday defense looking like? Get your plan together. Defense is sometimes underrated, but it can win games. Do your core work around it. Doing so might just save your sanity and save your holiday season as well. So thanks so much for joining. I appreciate you hanging out, and I look forward to talking with you next time, y'all. Take care and happy holidays.